Good morning, everyone. It is Tuesday, December the 10th. We are quickly advancing into the second week of December, and I hope that you have all survived the snowfall of the recent days, plus added to that all the melting. It's winter in Ontario, what can I say? It snows and then it melts. Comes and goes. Well, I know that it's getting a little bit colder towards starting tomorrow again, and looks like we might have some snow flurries, but hopefully you'll be all safe and warm, and hopefully it won't interrupt our seniors' supper happening on Thursday evening for those that are coming. This morning I'd like to just take a little bit of time just to focus on what does it mean to be glad, or to take delight in, or to give joy to when you're living through stuff that is hard and struggling. I did a funeral for one of our seniors who passed away about 2.5 months after she turned 100 years old. It wasn't so much a sad situation, it was actually quite happy, but there are many other situations, as we experienced and talked about at Blue Christmas this past Sunday, that have brought a lot of grief, especially during this time of season, and where joy isn't exactly there in spades, if I can do that. And yet, when we look at a variety of different psalms and how the psalmist, whoever, whether it's David or one of the other psalm writers, we notice that even in the midst of struggle and tyranny, there's this aspect of finding delight in the Lord in the midst of that all. In Psalm 126, the psalmist writes, "When the Lord brought back his exiles to Jerusalem, it was like a dream. We were filled with laughter and we sang for joy. And the other nations said, 'What amazing things the Lord has done for them.' Yes, the Lord has done amazing things for us. What joy!" And then in verse 4 to 6 he says, "Restore our fortunes, Lord, as streams renew in the desert. Those who plant in tears will reap harvests of joy. They weep as they go to plant their seed, and they sing as they return with the harvest." Part of what the psalmist is talking about, they're in a time of exile, and they're remembering that time when God brought the exiles back, and now they're again in a time of removal from their country and their home, and they're calling out to God, reminding God of the good that he did and the way that he brought things out. But they don't complain about their situation. They just say, "Lord, do it again. Restore our fortunes again. Let us sow these seeds in our tears so that we might reap a harvest of joy." You know, the psalmist doesn't have any demands for taking the pain away, but rather just saying, "Don't forget me in my pain, and restore the joy that is there." That's part of, I think, the challenge we have as Christians is not everything is good just because we believe in Jesus. Not everything turns out perfectly because we have strong faith. We go through trials and tribulations. We go through illness, injury, and death. And yet in the midst of all that, we are called to depend upon God, who is not only our Savior, but he's the one who walks beside us all the way. And so we can also rejoice because there is reason to give hope, because God has done good things in the past. There is reason to hope that he will again do these good things in the future. And while we may feel sort of encapsulated in darkness because of our grief, we serve a God who steps into that darkness with us. And he, just like he did at Bethlehem, to lead that star, to lead the wise men to the star in Bethlehem, he steps into that darkness with us to be our light, to guide us to the places of hope, and eventually to the places of rejoicing and joy. To rejoice is to anchor your weary soul to God, who is restored and will restore again. To rejoice is to tether your wailing and anxious heart to the promise that your tears will not go unseen and wasted, but they will plant gardens of joy in times to come. And to rejoice means that we trust our heartache into God's tender hands. So I hope that you are experiencing hope and joy in the midst of whatever you're going through. And hopefully not all of it is bad. May God bless you as you continue to anticipate this coming of Christ as a baby at Christmas time during this Advent season. God bless you, church, and praying for you today. Hope to see many of you on Thursday at 6 o'clock. God bless. Bye-bye.